What is this? Okay, good. It looks like I just milked nothing. I should probably not do that in town. Just like jack off in the town square. Hey, how's it going? Whoa, whoa! What the fuck is this? Got him! I've just been drifting around, being led by circumstances. No, that's not right. In Ave, you helped Bart when he needed it. I can't keep a fucking straight face, this awful writing. Drifting, kind of like me. Holy shit. Oh no! Oh, we're not quite dead yet. Don't worry though, I have a telescope equipped. The sprite tells me it's a lady, but the face tells me it's a man. Do that Dr. Girlfriend voice. Yesterday my stove caught on fire. I thought the whole house was gonna burn down. You, they're ugly, kid. Every kid is ugly.
What? These aren't special in any way. There goes the potion! Oh!
It's a perfect fit. Oh! Ooh! Well, that's gonna be a problem. 24 people have died. We might not finish the campaign now. Oops. I never equipped the chainsaw. I never equipped the chainsaw! Oh my god. I didn't stab that man with a chainsaw. I just made chainsaw noises as I hit him with an axe. Holy fuck, I'm an idiot. Oh, he'll have the key for sure. Police! Nobody move! Like I kicked his knee bone or something.
Are you blind? What in God's... I mean, better luck next time.
Armor broken, what the fuck? Just kicked that boar and my clothes exploded. Arcanum.
Damn it. Stop. You totally fucked it up.
Well, you fucked me, dog. We're not getting in now. You blew it, old man. Holy shit, you blew it. Wow, and it's just his face. Oh. No. I can't take you seriously when your planet's called Choco. Welcome to Choco, keep your nose clean. Is your planet named after candy?
Spell shit in hindsight. That went pretty good. The hell is this? It says the sacrifice of fire is the gate to ruin. Place torch if you crave the void. Okay.
Terrors may indeed stalk these shadows, but yonder, a glint of gold.
I fucked that up. A whole bunch.
Welcome back. Let's just get the sun. Apparently it's going to take a while. Jesus. So we were about to send a space station. Hi there. We were about to send a space station to the moon. And it's been a little bit since the last stream, so I have some ideas to change that space station. It was Robin Station, if you recall. Where the hell are you? Robin Station. I want this shit out of the way. And I want this shit out of the way. And we're going to look at the stats here. Right now, it's 16.3 meters tall, and I had some plans to make it a little more stout. Cost us less money. Right now, it costs $40,000. Remember, the requirements for this station are... Our requirements are... It needs to hold 15 people in a lab, 7,500 power. But don't you worry. Okay, first things first, I don't want this thing on the top. Did it already reroute it? You're the new route. There. Alright, goodbye. I also don't want this shit. Keeping it real lean. Alright, watch, because we can use this as a tapering element and it holds Kerbals. So we do that. And then we do this. And then this is the bottom. That still holds 15 people. $10, $11, $12, $13, $14, $15. Perfect. So we got the lab. Now we just need, we have the docking. We need the power storage, which, don't you worry, your pretty little head. We do this. I thought it was rather sharp when I was testing it. We want a radial attachment node. Hey, Ray. Okay. And then we just mount the batteries over here. 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, which gives us 8,000 power. And then, just so it looks like these things serve a purpose, let's put some relay dishes there. So Robins can function as a sort of relay station. I guess Gosling's also a relay station, but this will just add that much more power to our command. And we can get a little fancy with our clip tool, our move tool actually. Okay. Reduce that form factor, it's on clip. Bring it in. That's good, and then we can also bring the dishes in. To there. We're building a space station. Mostly to spec. So we've gone from 16 meters to 10 meters in height. Shaved off, well, 5 meters. So we've got an inflatable airlock, and then down here, or could I put it here? No, we still need a regular docking port. Which actually, you know what we'll do is, we'll just flip this whole thing on its head. Put the regular docking port here. How snazzy is that? But wait, you're saying we don't have solar power? Don't you worry. We take the little octagonal struts here. We don't need windows on this station. This is a station strictly for working. Oops. We just needed a little bit of clearance over the window. Hey, Justin. And then now that we've got a good gripping point there with the octagonal struts, that's where we put our solar arrays. So it kind of looks like they're covering the window. So it almost looks like the window isn't even there. There you go. This thing has 8,000 power units, it generates its own power, holds 15 people. Got an inflatable airlock there for prototype ships, but I think we'll eschew the inflatable airlock. I'm not really blown away by it. It's big. I don't like the form factor. It looks cool, but for how simple our space program is, I don't think we need that much clearance on a docking port. So we'll probably be using this one if we even come to the moon, right? And I am throwing away this because I don't want this bi-couple fuel tank fucking up our stability. We are getting close to Duna. Like, I do get distracted by other stuff, but we are getting close to Duna. And we also... I shaved off the large reaction wheel because a command pod gives 15 torque. And the large reaction wheel gives 30 torque. So we actually have extra torque because we're using 3 command pods. It's more expensive. Like, the little reaction wheel would be... more cost efficient, but because the contract requires 7,500 power, 7,500 power should be enough to power these 3 command pods. And 3 command pods means we have that much more monopropellant, so we don't really have to store any monopropellant tanks on this station. Check our center of mass here. Near the center, perfect. So I want some RCS here, and I want some RCS here. These up a little bit, I'm sure. Something like this. Am I going to quit once I get to Duna? I am. Or it's just going to spiral out of control forever. There's other games to play. Because, I mean, if we can get to Duna, then it's just a matter of building a larger ship and going to other planets with more Delta V. I think Duna's a perfect time to stop for all the stuff we've done. Because, like, there's stuff like mining bases and space planes, SSTOs. There's people smarter than me that show that stuff off. So I think I want to try a very stout... You know what, if I make it fat enough... like this. This holds 360 liquid fuel, which is as much as one of these. But the oxidizer's so heavy, isn't it? How much does this cost? Actually, this costs 800. This cost... Whoa! Hello? So I think if we did this... Not the most cost efficient, but then we got the oxidizer. I prefer that. And then we just put a little nerve on it. Let's set our delta V to vacuum here and see what we're about to get in for. Buckle up for 1200. It's actually awful. It's not as much as I thought it would be. Actually, sorry, what's the mass here? This is 4.5. This weighs 2.25. So we are getting a lot more weight than I'd prefer, I suppose. 1600, then when we kill the oxidizer. 1700. Is 1700 enough to go to the moon? Let's just overkill a little bit. Oh, by the way. Oh, the station ends up costing just as much as the old version. It's smaller. I think it's because I added these satellites. What do these satellites cost me? Yeah. Thing's almost $10,000 cheaper without the satellites. Actually, I wonder if there's a way to mount the satellites right here. Not fuck up the width. Because then we can have a fairly stout fairing. So if I go 3. And then rotate. And then move. No, that was place. Move tool in. The hell's in my way? The hell is that? Ugh. Where did you come from? Ghost satellite? Oh, sorry, that's just a 2. So this has the ability to communicate with other stations. And it's still cheaper, and it's a little bit fatter because of the batteries, but it's much shorter. We got the docking port. Yeah, okay, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Let's go with this one, and then so it's got a nice alternating pattern, which looks cool. 2,000. This is enough. What's our goal, TTA? Tonight is we're just trying to make a little bit more money, I think, and then we'll hopefully start to design our ship. We might even, although I doubt it, we might even send a ship in a solar orbit and drop off a satellite. Because that'll be a lot of XP for Jebediah and anyone he brings along. That is one thing, too, is we could make like a big cruise liner and just fly around the sun to level everybody up. Remove the oxidizer from the new tank. Thank you. Gained another 200. So this is overkill right now. We also need to stop for a moment here and take note of what this moon base is going to generate for us, because like look at all that fairing we can shed. Look at that. And then we'll just strut this fairing to this fuel tank because the nerve is, he's too tiny, so he's not giving any structural integrity. Okay. So this is a $96,000 ship. And we need to see how much money this moon base is going to make. I think the moon base is a $200,000 contract, so we'll make some money. Oh, hello! Hello! Plant a flag on Minmus. Yes, I'm here for my free paycheck. Yes. Science data from space around Minmus. That's just a free, like, $70,000. I'm already around Minmus. I think the lander's already fueled, so we can just go plant that flag right now. Science data from the surface of the Mun. Do I have a plant flag on the Mun? I don't. Is Duna the end game? I'd say Duna's maybe mid game. I'd say early game is Kerbin and its moons, and then if you can get away from Kerbin, if even Duna are mid game, and then the end game is like landing on every single planet and going to the outer planets, which were added on a later expansion. Expand the Bailout Mark II. Bailout Mark II is currently in orbit of Kerbin, and it supports 9 Kerbals. There's no electric charge on it. So we need to add 5,000 units of electric charge and another 11 Kerbals of space for $170,000. I don't think that's a good choice. Ferry 5 turrets to their station. Land on Minmus. Absolutely not. Actually, this is a lot of money. Oh, it's because these guys want to land on fucking everything. I gotta land like every single one of these guys on Minmus. This would be very time consuming, but this is doable if I send a pilot down with one person. It's like land on Minmus, fly by Minmus, orbit Minmus. This would give us $150,000. And this one is fly by the moon, land on Minmus, orbit the moon, $150,000. This guy just wants to fly by the moon. That's $90,000. I don't like this guy that wants to land on the moon. Especially because it's only $109,000, but I don't get an advance, but I could chip away at these. Because there is space on Gosling Station for these guys. Return them safely to Kerbin on schedule in 12 years. I'd like to go to space. Science data. Okay, so I don't have to land on the moon, so let's not do that. Observational survey of the moon. Let's not do that. This is kind of tempting, but I don't think I put a docking port on the Bailout Mark II. So I don't think we're going to take this. I'm not going to take any of these. I just like this. Flag on Minmus. Yes. Data from space around Minmus. That's just free money. Let's do that right now. Gosling Station. Go. Can I get a crew report? There's no one in it. Where are you, Bob? What are you in? You're in the cupola, aren't you? No, you're in the lander. Crew report. Transmit. No usable in-range comm devices. What the hell are you talking about? We just have no connection to the KSC. Alright, there we go. Send that off. Which, oh no, sorry, that's not from space. Crew report. Overwrite, transmit. There we go. Transmit or recover scientific data from space around Minmus. So yeah, we have to ideally bring a satellite with us. A resource survey scanner, though, I think is fucking massive. Marginal deviation. What? Equatorial orbit of the moon. Okay, so that should be easy. I think we're going to bring the survey scanner with us while we plant Robin Station. How much fuel do we have in this? We have enough fuel to plant this flag and go back. So let's get dangerous here. Where are you, Valentina? B for board. All right. Let's wait until we're around the sun. We're going the wrong way. I think this orbit keeps getting shifted very seriously every time I dock with it. It gets kind of jostled. This is a satellite that we were meant to position on Minmus, or that this might be. That's a very reasonable orbit. I'm not sure if we'll be able to have enough fuel to flip the speed. Might actually be able to, if we get enough delta V on the satellite, might be able to undock it from Robbins before we leave Kerbin and then send it to Minmus on its own with a probe core. We'll have to see how much this one's worth. Alright, I sped time up too much. I'm waiting for the sun to be by the base because I'm always comfortable landing and taking off from that greater flat. Time's flying by. We might get a new contract. That's nice. Okay, here we go. Now I will actually undock and land. Quick save.
See you later, fellas. Scratch that. I want to steal some monopropellant from the station, or we're not going to be able to get into a docking position. Ooh. It's a good thing I didn't go because Valentina doesn't have a flag. Sandbus might. There's actually nobody left on this station. Jokey, I think, already planted his flag. Bob, I think, already planted his flag. So if Sandbus doesn't have a flag, we can't complete this contract. We'll have to fly Jeb up, which is not as valuable. Flying up here just to plant a flag is we'll barely make any money with the backstreets back. Okay. Nobby's not here. He always says he has a scheme for my refueling, but then he's never here when I refuel. Alright, then we have to transfer Sandbus to the lander. This part's full. Who the fuck's in here? Who's in here with you? Jokey. No, I know it's full. Get out. Okay, Sandbus is in the lander can. The lander has fuel. Let's get home. Then we just go to like here. I think it should only take 120 to go up and down, so if I don't fuck up, we should have plenty. So that was 100. Probably could have just killed that off with RCS or not done such a steep descent. Now that burned a lot. In the grand scheme of the universe, that burned a lot of fucking fuel. I guess this is actually enough to keep us stabilized, so the impact tolerance on the legs is fine. And land. Alright, Sandbis, did you bring a flag? You did. Call this one Sellout Heights. For money. Plant flag on Minmus. Now we just gotta get these kids home. 500 Delta V, I'll be very upset if this is not enough. A little concerned that I spent so much. Maybe my suicide burn was a little not suicide-y enough. Or maybe you're just supposed to burn just barely enough to come down. Oh well. Board. My target is Gosling Station. We'll wait for it to come back. This is more than enough fuel. We're going to quick save. Okay. Take off straight up until our apoaps hits 20. Until our apoaps hits 16. Turned off the SAS there. There we go, and then we just figure out which way we want to turn. Which is not the direction of our prograde, because we're tilting the other way. So you want to go like this. Node's not amazing. Why is that shrinking me? Is my momentum just weird? Hey, 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 hey. Saw that. Right, node's still in a decent spot. And then now that we're in orbit, we can pretty much rendezvous with thrusters. Whoops. Not terrible. So effectively a free mission. We just got something for nothing there. Let's burn radial in here. I think it's radial in. It might be radial. We want to burn radial. I'll tilt our orbit over. That was the right way. Okay. Very nice orbit here. We just got to wait for a good intercept. I am behind it, so I want to be smaller. So let's bring our periaps down a little bit more. $12 is still more than enough to not slam into a mountain. I think one more and I'm caught up. Look at that. I'm actually a little bit ahead of it now. Whoops. Let's try to kill all our target velocity here. Once I'm intersect target position, so when I'm here, I want to kill my speed. And that should fix my next intersect. But killing my speed might lower my periaps too much. We're going to find out. I'm only going 20 meters faster than it. Look at that. No separation. Only 9 meters relative speed difference. Making great time. Which probably means the ship launch of the station is going to be a fucking disaster by comparison. Yep, we just gotta burn towards target. Oh no, sir, it's my speed that's the problem still. There. 0.5 meters per second. Once we're actually at that intersect and we kill the speed, we'll be good. Probably do want to dock this, although I mean we could kill the lander off. We could bring out a new retrofitted lander. I wonder if a nerve, no, a nerve's probably too large. Even though it probably has incredible thrust. Might not have enough thrust to actually land on Minmus safely. Not with a bigger lander. Alright, there you are. Ideally, we don't dock with the tanker. Turn that off. And then we just have to pivot this thing. We have decent torque. Have faith in the probe core we docked. Okay, hold position, and then here I come. We're actually locked in. Let's switch over to docking mode. Ready to turn off the SAS at like 1 meter. Beauty. Successful dock. Let's go home. Oh, except those people. That's their home now. All right, now we're trying to get that moon base online. Moon station. Yeah, data from the surface of the moon, tempting. It'd be extra tempting if I had a rover on the moon, actually. That'd be free money. Rescue Kenster from orbit of Minmus. Where is he? Low Minmus orbit. Fucking lander might be able to go get him. It's $230,000. I think I want this. Kenster, the tracking station will show us where he is. If he is anywhere near Gosling Station. I can't tell. You know what? We can fly up a new lander, and if we rescue that guy on our way out, the lander ship will make money. So let's see where he is first. Recover Kenster Kerman. Oh, sorry, we have to go get him no matter what. He can't just move into Gosling Station, but still. That ship will make money. Rescue Kenster. Scientific data from the surface of the moon. That's very tempting. If we can land a little rover. Doesn't even need to be the Science 21,000. Although it probably it wouldn't need it would need the arm. We could send it down with the rest of the science suite for 70,000. I don't know actually. 70,000. What's a rover gonna cost me? I don't want to send down a buggy because I don't want to actually land a Kerbal on the moon. Just because it's a little expensive and like we've spent so much time landing on Minmus. Where's the rover? Science 21,000 Mark III. There's a fucking rover. Was it the Science 21,000 Mark II? Yes. Shit. So you're the new route, assuming I can actually, assuming that's enough Delta V to land on the moon. This thing costs $20,000 and things we won't need on it. That. The seat. The surface scanner. This thing's actually still kind of expensive. I don't think you need RCS on the moon. Actually, if it's not going to be a rover, we probably don't need such a big thing, do we? Do I have a rover on some other planet? I have a rover on Minmus right now. I guess this is the problem, is the fucking rover. No, actually, the little lander thing's not that expensive. Actually, you know, 183, I don't think that's enough to land on the moon. I think the moon's like 250 or something. 1 second here. Yeah, the moon's 580 to land on it, so that's like a one-way trip at this point. I don't want to waste any resources on another lander. Because that thing's actually pretty fucking expensive to refuel. We'd have to pretty much send a refueler every single time we wanted to land on the moon. We could, I mean, we could put, well, they need to be a pilot is the problem. We would need to send a pilot to Robin Station, and we just rescued a pilot, which I guess is okay. I don't think I like this, though. Let's start over. Let's see if we can make a little rover doodle. This guy costs $800, and he weighs 0.15. Does this guy have maneuver log? No, just retrograde prograde. Still, how crude of a rover can I make? Not even a rover, really. This could just be a fucking satellite we land right on the surface. Alright, that's how big you could be. That's how big you need to be to have legs. To justify legs. Space age bullshit. Yeah, if you're just watching where I landed on the moon, I mean, mechanically, we're not very far past that, but a lot has happened since then. And maybe we will just base it on a rover. Can't tell which way's forward and shit, though. These cost $300, these little fellas. This is like our little moon rover. He'll actually be very heavy because the gravity's that much higher on the moon, and this guy's much denser, I guess. These wheels like this might be better suited to the moon, maybe, or sorry, Duna. And then we'll just give him his little science suite. Although I really think that even this might be wasted money, because usually when they want data, they want it from a specific area. Now, can the mystery goo reset itself? I don't think it can. I don't think a probe core possesses that power. Will you just let me see your data? Thank you. Unmanned, drains power, antenna type internal. Cannot transmit science. Really? we can just put. $120 battery. Let's make him the silver one. So yeah, the thing is, I don't want to send something down. Where's this rover? This one's just going to the moon. Ideally just to like hibernate there in case we ever get contracts to do things on the moon. Not really going to drive him around, so we can probably just save a little bit of money. Actually, don't save. Wow, you barely save any money with the non-shredded version, huh? Still. Let's try to keep this guy frugal. A little offset here. I'm digging this offset tool. I was like, you gotta be careful making cheaty ships, but it's just the dress-up factor. It's there. Whoop. Actually, you know what? Just to make him... we don't care about his size because it's just the retractable kind, but I think for his form factor when he's deployed, I think he'll look nicer with the 3x2. Okay. So yeah, we're going to land this on the moon because we're building a station around the moon right now. Trying to scoop up some easy money. Because if we manage to break 1.6 million, we can upgrade the R&D lab. But of course, if we exactly hit 1.6 and spend on the R&D lab, we want to have money for new missions. So we probably want something closer to like 2 million. That'll give us enough money to fund further missions. Because the final tier of upgrades would be, honestly, probably not mandatory to build our ship to Duna. We're not really waiting on any advanced parts. It's mostly the... we would get... really just the mining-based stuff, which would be neat. Let me just give you a... just a barometer and a thermometer and a seismometer. Oh, fuck, he's actually an expensive little rascal. $10,000 rover. The survey scan, actually, the survey scanner is not that expensive. It's just fucking huge. We do have some satellites that need this attached to it. So as long as we don't get a mission for, well, specific location data, because that won't fly. But as long as just like conduct any science on the surface of the moon, we can just remote into this little guy, easy money. Pretty much as soon as we get a second contract, does this guy will pay for himself. Especially if we're able to attach this to the ship we're sending to the moon right now. Actually, he's so tiny, can we dock him in a service bay? Because that would be perfect. Payload. The answer is yes. Does it need a transmitter? Good memory, Ray. It does need a transmitter. We deploy one before the other and we're fine, if you see. A probe core? This functions as a probe core as far as I know, the rover mate. Yeah, it particular can't transmit science, but that just means we put an antenna on it. So sorry, because we have all those relays on Robin's station, this doesn't need a relay. We can just, this thing needs just enough power to reach the station we're putting in orbit. So we can just give them even one of these, direct 500K. We just give him this little fella. Are these combinable? These aren't combinable is the only problem. We can give him little antennas so he looks like a little bug. Adorable little scamp, and there's his little tail. And then we would dock him inside this somehow. Probably a docking port junior because this guy's so tiny. Oh yeah, docking port junior for sure. His wheels don't quite fit. This worries me, but here's what we can do for that. No, 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 no. What are you doing? Payload service bay. Open. Sorry, this is so we offset the actual this. There, so if we can land this on the moon as he just drives right out. So we would position this. Hey there. Mun surface can be in the shade for a long time. Solar panels might not work all the time, and there's a... that's a good point, is he needs enough battery power to survive in hibernation when he's on the dark side. Oh, our little antennas won't work. That's better. Why does the rover body look like it's wrapped in tinfoil? I just set the color. There's the default white, and then there's silver and gold. With the silver. But you are right, is he could probably use a battery. I think really any battery. The Batman's fucking colossal, but I mean there is plenty of room on him, right? You feel free to get out of my way while we do this part. I mean, you do that. Which puts that in the way. I could do double Z100s. Nah, the Batman's way stronger. You know what? Yeah, these are relatively cheap. There's like $1,000, and if we put this rover on hibernate, this is like a lifetime supply of power. Yeah, that's a good call. Let's test it out on the launch pad here. We'll just flip this. The only reason I didn't put the docking port on the top is this guy's kind of in the way, but if we just rotate it out the other way, not like that. If we rotate it out the other way, it's not a problem in transit, and it'll still flip the right direction, if you know what I mean. Oh, won't you fucking snap on me? Give a little bit of that. Perfect. See, and then it'll just spin, which I think the docking port junior won't get in the way. We can make the docking port junior very low, I think. Stop that. No, that'd be in the way. So I gotta make sure this guy gets positioned in a way that he has room to spin. We can do this. Could I put the solar panels on the sides? I could, but then we're back on we're back with 1x6s, which I'd like to use a 3x2 for once. I mean, we can just make it an actual tail, because that's a pretty compact form factor. Let's try that. Let's make it an actual tail. We can put it next to the flag. Oh, it won't self-collide? Well, we've already gone this far in the dress-up part. Let's try this. Ooh, that might... Nope, this should have plenty of room to find the sun. But maybe he'll have more coverage when he's up on the... Yeah, it's like a little off-center, but I mean, asymmetry's stylish on its own. But if you're correct and we can just leave it up top, it won't collide. Okay. And then now we offset it the other way. So the wheels have room. Oh, I said no snap. Stop that. There. Yeah, I could. I could just go 2 1x6s on the sides or something. Actually, I think every time I disconnect the cargo bay, I lose the offset. Yeah, because I could just put them here, right? Oh, no you don't. I guess we can just go with like a double tail here. That's good. It's a little tall, but that's okay. Yeah, we lose the offset, I think. Alright, let's make sure it's at least facing the right direction for control, right? Do a test launch here. Okay. So you would land this as the underbelly of a moon lander, which might actually be very hard to design. And then you decouple. Then you're on your way. It is facing the wrong way. So the flag is the front of the probe, apparently. Beep beep, it's the roach. Brakes, please. Brakes, please. Brakes. Oop. Oof. I forgot that B is not a toggle, it's a tap. Baby go boom boom. All right, I'm a little bummed out because I don't know how to revert the control because it's backwards is forwards. Like the flag's the actual front, but I built it like this was the front. Decouple. Okay, toggle the brakes. And extend. That is, you know, actually, if we're trying to make it look like a bug, we'd want wings, wouldn't we? But you did bring up the good point, though, is that you might get very bad coverage on the sides because they get more coverage up top. So let's stick with this. This will be our moon rover. Revert vehicle assembly. Test it for tilt. Well, we're not really going to be driving this around on the moon. This is basically just if we ever get a contract for scientific data from the surface of the moon, is we can very quickly do it. I have no confidence in driving this thing like 50 kilometers for seismic surveys and stuff. So as long as he can get off of this thing and get clear before the lander takes back off and we can leave him behind. Mission accomplished on this little guy. Close the doors. Nice and compact. Excellent work, me. And we'll just make it a sub-assembly. Well, shit. There we go. Cockroach. And then we can just drag the sub-assembly in later once we design the moon rover. All right, let's go back to Robin Station. It's a sub-assembly, so it doesn't matter that it's not its own ship. Don't save. All right, Robins. All right, we didn't fix the fairing. Okay. So we would put our moon lander here. And then, if we put the moon lander here, though, that means only ships with inflatable airlocks can meet this station, which is okay, I guess. So we'll build our moon lander here. Want to keep it smaller than a command pod, which should be fine because we can use a Mark 1 lander can because we're not sending any huge missions. Oh yeah, look at that. Very compact form factor on that moon lander. We want it to be probably thick so we can stow that storage bay underneath it easily. And yeah, we did make some modifications to the station design so it's much shorter. Which reminds me. Oh no, this is a... Oh, never mind. I was like, we don't have a docking port senior, but this isn't a docking port. I mean, a docking port senior here would be wonderful, but we can just make this a 37 decoupler. By which I mean we can make this a 25 decoupler. There. And, not the most. Why in God's name do you think you only get 42 Delta V? 39 Delta V. Where are you pulling fuel from, young man? It's no consequence, I suppose. We need to make a lander, and then we flip it upside down, and we put it on this. So let's do that. Save. We need to get to the moon, and from the moon it's 580. So, oh, fuck, this thing's going to need a lot of delta V in it to go down and come back up. Really only going down the one time. I think I almost want to put a probe core in this thing, so we don't always have to send a pilot down. So I need 580. Well, more than 580, right? Closer to 1,000 to go up and down. So we probably want to do something like... I doubt this will work, but let's get the subassembly right away. The control point's all fucked up on it. What the hell? Oh. Oh, ooh. Alright, we'll have to figure that out later. Let's just actually try to get the storage bay on the ship, and then we'll slide in the proper one. Or, I mean, we already know how we're building the rover, so we can just use our brain for reference. Alright, so I want a storage bay 2.5 right here, and then we'll open the doors, and then we can maybe do like a radial fuel tank on each side. Do you think a nerve can land on the moon, though? That's the question. Because if a nerve's strong enough to land on the moon, might make it too heavy, actually. Might just want to go with 2 Terriers, or what's better for space? Is there something better than the Terrier for space? I don't think so. I can do it with 2? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we put a nerve on each end for very low fuel. But then I am a little concerned about the weight if we do that. This thing also is an abomination for when we mount it on top of Robin's station. The fairing's going to be colossal. So I'm going to vacuum. Give it 2 nerves. Downside is the nerves make it massive. 3,368. So I'm guessing it's a matter of the thrust power, not the fuel efficiency. What if I gave it 2 Terriers just for form factor? That's liquid fuel only. Huh. Terriers also give 3266. Well, that's more than enough. I'd want an even smaller fuel tank. We could probably just do this with a bunch of those donut fuel tanks then. No, hang on here. I don't think this is true. Let's give it a nice little style here. Give it some pointless structural things. And then we just go donut. This holds 9, this holds 27. This might actually might not be enough. Let me go Terrier here. This is 2,000 delta. So then which one are you mounted on? Because I do kind of want to do another gross clip here. Stop that. Yeah, these are the guys I want to offset then. Oh, they're already snug right with it, huh? How would a rover ride off? That's a great question. The answer is, hang on. Am I this fucking crazy? The answer is no. I was thinking hinges, but the rover's in the way of the hinges. Thank you for pointing out that structural flaw, though. This guy does need to get off. No, wait, this would work because they'd be pre-opened. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I need it to be 2. No, not like that. Oh, never mind. It's not on mirror. Oh, fucking, we're getting close. We're getting close to making this a reality. And then you would go target angle. Oh, fuck. So close. Okay, and then go target angle. So that would be enough to get him off. But then there's a bit of space magic going on because they would clip through while you're in flight. That does look cool, though. But yeah, they're not quite long enough. So what if... Oh, would you just get the fuck out of the way? Probably only need 1 donut, don't I? Actually, hang on, is this... Am I this crazy? I could put fuel on top as well. But this is 1200. 1200 should be enough to land on the moon and return to the station, right? The return flight terrifies me because we do have to put some RCS on this thing. So that would get you most of the way onto the ground. But yeah, you're right. Let's put some emergency fuel up top. Assuming it magically cross-feeds through this storage bay. Thank God. Just a donut, I think, is better for the... We can even do this. We can give it like a little sort of... flotation-looking sort of thing. So we'll go from 1270. God, is there a way to lock symmetry so it doesn't go up as it touches other symmetries I've done? 1817 is very comfortable. But, oh no, sorry, if we do that we start going wide again, don't we? Yeah, let's just go with some littles. These aren't quite rotated perfectly. Never should have started using these fine tools. There. So, I mean, that looks pretty sharp, and it gets the job done. And then we want a 2 times symmetry. Okay, expert. Perfect. Thank you. 2000. Even with my skill level, 2000 should work. These are a little closer than I'd like. All right. The basketball lander. I really like this though. Really like this mechanized ramp thing we have going on. Oh yeah, because you can even just take off with them like this. Although I guess the door doesn't close, does it? That should be fine. In the grand scheme of the universe, that should be fine. Might want to test those doors. Yeah, that's a good call. But I think this little guy might actually work. And then this just needs a docking port. Man, what a compact little fella. Where would I attach the landing gears? What we could do, which we shouldn't, but what we could do is let's close it. I think the aero brakes are a little too expensive, but they did work out on our Backstreet's back, right? No, landing legs, I can pay 200, 400. These are like $300 each. Where are the aerodynamics? These are $1,000 each, but these are just fun. So what you would do is give me a triple. Okay, we just had to fudge the angle a bit there. So yeah, they'd be like this, and then once we're actually ready to land, we change the deploy angle to like 30 degrees for some very stout legs. So you just have to make sure the deploy angle in the air brakes is shallow enough so that the rover landing legs work. This is this is a very articulate little ship we're building for such a throwaway little rover. And then, yeah, there's some clipping here, so we would want them to be a little offset down this way. Like that, look at that. But then now we have a problem with the fuel tanks, which is fine because we have so much fuel. So I would probably want, well, we'll go triples. We'll go triples so we can mirror the air brakes. So I want a triple right here. And I want another triple right here. Not with mirror symmetry. Not with mirror symmetry. Another triple. And then a final triple here. Not mirrored, man. Thank you for those fuel hotkeys. Or sorry, the symmetry hotkeys. So that... This still gives us 1787 and... That didn't symmetrize like I wanted it to. So, oh, you're a double. That's why things fell apart. There we go. Triple. 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 What the fuck happened over here? Drunk ass engineers do I have building me this thing? I think one of those might have been on mirror symmetry. Look at that. 1876. Okay, and then what do you think would the deploy angle on these be? I'll say 20. Overly complex Moonlander. Let's launch. There we go. That angle's way too shallow, but this is what we're aiming for. Looks like we can't go 3 on the bottom. So 20, let's try a 30. Alright, so these have to start deployed and then we have to fiddle with the deploy angle. So we can't really... So let's go back, revert flight, vehicle assembly. I want the deploy angle to be push the engine in a little. I could. Because it's already... I mean, we're already getting clip crazy, right? Let's just make sure it doesn't clip into the service bay. This is like... It's like the only part of the ship we can't really offset much is the service bay, because we don't want to bump into the rover. Pretty much there. That looks kind of cool as it pokes through. Then I don't like, you know what? The fuel isn't going to be a problem. The fuel's just for aesthetics, so let's just get that out of the way for now while we troubleshoot this angle. Let's try 35. And your target angle is 145, we'll say. That's not too steep for our little rover. I do have making history. Yeah, I definitely wanted, like, I was glad that I kind of got the angle close, but we do want a decent angle, because this doesn't need to be flush with the ground. It just needs to be good enough for the rover to be, you know, not upside down when he lands. So let's try this. Yeah, something like this. It's actually really high looking at that one. Yeah, so you would... So I guess I need to put a controller on this, wouldn't I? But anyways. And then this closes. And then this opens. And then... What did we agree on here? 145? So I like this. It might tip over because the support is not even from the bay door. If it might tip over when the ropes. So if I'm careful, I can mirror these. So these are kind of like tracks the rover will land on no matter what. So we can have ones going out each side. Although we'll only use the one side, obviously. It's like, I would kind of like a piston or something here, like another hinge attached to it. I wish I could make this larger. But this is still really cool. Probably shallow this out just a little bit because this is a huge fucking drop for that little fella. Yeah, sorry, this is just going to the moon for right now. I keep getting distracted from our Duna goal. Okay, so we're gonna shallow the angle out to 30 or 25? 27. Let's compromise. And then let's get started on the actual rover, right? And we wanted him to dock from the top. Stop that. Stop it. Would you just get the goddamn node? There. Okay. And actually, you know what? We might be able to drag the sub-assembly in here and then unfuck it. Can I salvage you? Yep. See ya. There's that little fella. Whoops. Oh, I see what I did. The other docking clamp junior's already on there. Come on, I know you can do it. There. Okay. Up we go. The rover does have a face. It's over on this side. The flag is the front. Yeah, so I guess we might as well switch that around. Now that we know it was facing backwards. Double symmetry, please. And then these go on the back now. Okay. The flag kind of fucks up the centering. We'll figure something out for the thermometer. Squish the wheels. Can I squish the wheels in the VAB? How do I squish the wheels? Offset inwards. Oh, I can slide the ramps over. I think I can also probably offset the rover a little bit into the docking port as well, so he is like super snug. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted him into the docking port itself. And then we can clip the hinges down a little bit, I think. no thermometer, which, I mean, if we never needed, if we never get a contract to check the temperature on the moon, we're wasting $900 here. Let's just keep the bum thermometer. Okay, and then these are set to be mirrored. Except they aren't. There we go. Yeah, you're right. Let's just inset the wheel so it's close, so it's not as an exaggerated of a curve. The shit out of my way. Let's inset these wheels. Pretty much, we can hide this inner spring axle, right? So then they're barely offset from the ramp. And then we can probably just raise them a bit more, can't we? We don't need that much clearance on this little fella because we're not actually driving him around. Just a little bit more and he's fine. Well, that's not what I said. There's a weird snap there. Raising the wheels will make it more stable. Huh. Oh, you fucking... Why would you disconnect when I go drag up? What are you doing? Oh, it's because like the collision on the inside's angled, isn't it? Maybe some clearance issues. Yeah, it's like, we'll see what happens to the weight when he gets supported by his own wheels. So let's move these guys over now. That's pretty close. And I mean, as long as, I think as long as the one set of wheels is on it, we drive straight, he should be able to pull himself up over the ramp. So let's try this. I'm a little worried about the antennas. So let's just actually offset them inside a little bit. Alright, let's try it. Okay. Still some clearance on the engine. Yeah, those ramps are asking for trouble is the only thing. Okay. Control from here. Decouple the node. Okay. Okay, ideally that part doesn't happen when we're on the moon. But, oh god, brakes! How cool is that? I think I really over-designed my Minmus lander if this thing can get us on the moon. So lander came with a fucking beach ball full of helium and an engine strapped to the bottom. And then, oh right, the antennas come out too. There we go, a little moon bug. So yeah, his. I mean, you know, actually, maybe I could give him his own hinge, like a battle bot. If you get what I mean here. It's like he has a hinge strapped to the bottom of himself. This land only costs $21,000. That's not too bad. 20,000 Kerbals? Oh, fucking man, I'm never going to get to Duna. Every night I'm like, I'm getting really close to Duna, guys. Maybe we're going to do this thing that gets us close to Duna. And then I'm like, or we could design a rover for 2 hours that gets us to the moon for no real science. So basically, once that thing gets clear is when we... Then we... Oh, shit, I see what the problem is here. We want it the other way. But if he had a hinge on top, too, then he'd be invincible. But I want it the other way. So now it's got like a creepy mouth. Man, I'm going to the moon, see? Because he's a gangster cockroach from the 30s. I am very pleased with how this guy came along, considering how our ships looked just a few days ago. This ship is getting shit done. It's weird. Now I don't have the ability to extend it. Oh, it's because we're not controlling the ship. Oh, you don't want that hinge on right there. Whoop! Look at that, though. If we're careful, he will not fall off. And then, I mean, if you want to do some sweet flips. Alright, that wasn't very sweet. Do you think I should give him 2? Could I mirror this? Yes. So we'll do this. Really just enough so that we don't drag. Okay, decouple. Control our new little friend. Give me the hinge controls, please. We can't dilly-dally as we come out. Because if you saw there, I drove out too slow. Should be able to set up that hinge control and action groups, you know? Is there another thing I can do? I almost want to just do like a piston. If I make the motor go fast enough under moon gravity, I can make a hopping probe. I wonder. Yeah, I guess he's light enough. He can probably right himself before he lands. But I think, what's the impact tolerance on these wheels? 20! Jesus! We just have to be careful for what happened to our Minmus rover, which is you move so fast the solar panels get shredded off, and then they're not retractable, so we lose our power generation. The rover's doomed. Decouple. Is this your fault, fellas? Yep. Brakes! Yeah, he's very low, so we don't have to worry about him like flipping over when we turn or anything, which I love. Okay, let's try this. Ugh. Whoa. This thing's a fucking machine. 7 meters per second. It's literally a machine. It's powered by a probe core. I can tweak the suspension? Look at that. I think I'll probably offset these hinges up a little so there's some clearance because the moon's bumpy. But this thing worked out. You know what? I'm going to give it these two, and then I'm going to have one in the center facing the other way for like maximum BattleBot shit. Look at this guy. Just don't mind me, just doing a fucking 180 on a dime. This rover really came together. Let's give him his final hinge. So by the way, I want these to 0. So they're there. I don't think we'll need them to get off this thing on the moon, but if it is, we can use these for some like emergency adjustments. Okay, target angle is 0. And then I just want you all offset. Use lights for his eyes? I mean, then we're just moving all the science to the back again. I suppose we can give it the square light, I think. Pulls the least. What is it, utility? Yeah. So you draw 1.2 per minute. Yeah, we want this guy. It's fucking colossal, unfortunately. Here's what we'll do. We're going to cover up the flag because nobody else goes to the moon, so it doesn't matter that they know what country we're from. And we're just going to embed it in the probe core. With just the slightest decrease. In angle. You're a little off center, and it shows. The circular one is smaller, but it draws more power. Really want this to be centered just for the style of it. Then we'll put the science shit on the back again. Little science caboose. Hey, you're the one that told me to use the offset tool. You enabled this spaceship pretty princess dress up that we're stuck in. Okay, this rover is looking pretty fantastical. It's got a shitload of power. It doesn't have a lot of RCS is the only problem. But an RCS wheel is fucking huge, and I don't really want to compromise his form factor anymore. He's small, so hopefully the torque inside the rover mate is enough. What's your torque? Your torque seems to be 0, which terrifies me. Because this small reaction wheel is still a lot of space. I'll basically have to put it on the docking port and then embed it inside the rover core. Put it on the back. The back it would look a little weird because there's no real way to get it into the back easily. That's a little cheaty, what I mean. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make for the aesthetics of the rover. Decouple. Seems really heavy now with that RCS in him. Okay, so if you come off too slow, his wheels get caught in the hinge. That's one way to get off. We're fine. Nope. Looks like the reaction wheel actually made him too heavy. Oh, no, sir, it's the torque. It's way too much torque. But maybe this is enough torque for the moon is the problem. Actually, wait a second. We can revert. So here's the thing, is if it's clipped inside, I won't be able to interact with it on the fly. But on the vehicle assembly, we can turn down the control, right? We can like limit its torque. Yeah, wheel authority, give it like wheel authority 25 or something. But then if something goes wrong on the moon, I'm not sure how to interact with this because it's trapped inside the rover core. I can attach it to an action group? That's good, okay. Even 25 torque might be too much for the surface of Kerbin. Okay, that's good. Still turns on a dime. Let's head over to the VAB and visit it. Now, why would that make the wheels explode? That was weird. Impact on the wheel should be 20 meters. I mean, you can just be more careful, right? See what the fuck happens here. Maybe it was just the angle of impact was too much. I am very concerned about the reaction wheel. The reaction wheel seems to have really thrown a wrench into the design of the rover, but the reaction wheel might be very necessary when we're on the moon. He does look front heavy, and he also is, he's got like very little clearance because of the mandibles. So I'm a little worried about that. Just like the slightest hill is his arch enemy on the moon. I think we might actually ditch these. We might just hope we never need the hinges. He didn't I'm not sure what made him explode the one time. He seems okay. He seems fine. Now we'll just ram the VAB. Well, maybe the explosion was the light, because the impact tolerance on the light is trash. Quick save off, and yeah, like I said, we're probably not even going to drive this guy. We're just going to... He's just going to be on the moon in case a contract calls for us to go there. But he was really fun to build. So I'm going to remove these hinges. I don't like the hinges. I think what we can do is like after all this over engineering we did is I think we just drive off the ramp and then we just retract these hinges and the rover should right itself. And now that we've dealt with that, we can actually make the RCS wheel visible. I always call it an RCS wheel, the inline reaction wheel. That's no fun. I wanted like the red ring to be the center. fine. That way we can very easily interact with it and change the torque on the fly. So let's try this. We're just going to drive off the ramp and then retract the ramp behind him. Okay. I accidentally used the landing legs. Deploy. Alright, decouple this. Go. Okay, see, you're like, oh no, he's trapped. You just go back to the lander. Alright, that didn't do what I thought it would. Alright, I mean, it got him off. He was able to escape. And then off he goes. Those solar panels. Get those antennas. Get the light. Better front wheel strength. So that would be traction control. Here we go. See if he can handle this. I'm not seeing a suspension. This is stock. I don't see a suspension stat. Yeah, this is what we have to be careful for, because if he loses the solar panels, he's doomed. I mean, I could kill the motor on the rear wheels, right? But I mean, these are all options we can modify on the fly. All right, we will give him an emergency solar panel right on the roof. And then I think it's time to call it on this guy. I'm going to grab a drink, and then we're going to attach this lander to Robin's station and try to get it to the moon. The tricky part will be actually fucking being able to look at him and mount the solar panel. Probably put on the front there like a little eyebrow. This thing might be fucking massive, though. There. Yeah, he does look like plankton, I guess. Yeah, this is just if for some reason I want to go the long haul with this guy and I break the retractables, is this should give him a permanent power generation potential. Okay. So assuming this thing can survive the rigors of flight, 145 degrees, by the way. I'll need someone to remember that for an hour from now when I finally get to the moon on this. And then in a vacuum, 749 because it needs more fuel. So let's just put some more fuel on it. Probably just here and here. That'll be it. Or, you know. Ah, that's not a lot of room. And I angled it terribly. My God. What am I even looking at? Let's just do the tools. Ah, I should be having it on snap here. There, so that should be centered. I just get a good rotation. Oh, snappy rotation. 1440 is a little risky still, so let's ditch these balls. Let's go with this. 1550. Ooh, I meant to go 4 times. 1737, and then we can again for a little more. $20.68. That is a lot. You know what? No, because it's 500 down and 500 up, right? So 1737 should be a fucking lifetime supply as far as, you know, going down and up once. So then we just need to figure out the center of mass without the rover, because we come back without the rover. So your center of mass right now is here. But then when I get rid of you, it barely moves. He's actually very light. So we want all our RCS on the storage bay, right? Get out of here. Close. So, oh man, do you think I'll be able to dock with just 2, or do you think I want the full 4 radial? I can't do 4 radial though because of this. I'm very concerned because I had 2 RCS thrusters on the back streets back, and I had a hell of a time docking with it, but I think that's because the docking port was on like the underbelly of it, and that wasn't aligned with the RCS. I think you want your docking port on a good spot. You think I can do 2? So where is it here? There. See, I don't know how to do above and below because it's not quite in the center. So like if I put, what would I do? Like 2 here and then 2 here. Whoops, that's not 2. So yeah, there, and then can I hide some RCS thrusters in here? Some RCS fuel? I think that'll be a little too tight. I don't think that's a good idea. You know, I like these. I'm not in love with these. I kind of want to just put a donut under the lander. Suppose I could put a donut above and under it. So sorry. I have 1686 here. $1334 is a lot closer. It's just I don't like this. I don't like this little clump. I really like this this tapered thing connecting right to the landing can. So this worries me a little bit. Make that a little more clippy, I think, and I'll enjoy it more. Oh, don't do toggle snap here. That's nice. It sort of looks like an inflatable airlock, kind of. And then what if I move... I mean, we could hide it completely. That's a little greasy. Like this. I like this. And then it just needs a little RCS fuel. This is probably way too much, 50, and this is 7, but that's 7. Yeah, well, hang on here. What if we do this? That just looks a little odd. Can I fit you anywhere? You know, I really shouldn't. It's going to look extra clippy. And I kind of want to do something like this, but I think this will fuck up the center of mass. Because then we're a little bit forward. Actually, oh, hang on, we can do it. Well, we'll have the same problem. We can do it here, so it's like a little landing step. No, it's not. It's fucking way too huge. Is that the door? Because it's on snap. Okay, we do this. Can we bring it? We can barely bring it down though before it starts going right through. Did I check to see if I like the plate as a ramp? I don't remember when you mentioned that. And then, actually, hang on. Are these doors where I think they are? Yeah, the doors are on the wrong side. So here's what we can do for a little more style. Oh, well, actually, you know, yeah. Hey, Bane. Where are my ladders? Oh, I didn't buy the collapsible ladders yet because we could mount a collapsible ladder like right here. But we can use the mounted ladders. Oops. Can I mount ladders on you? You know I can't, unfortunately. You know what, you're still not really near the floor, so I'm not going to do this. He just needs a little RCS. Where the hell am I going to put it? I think actually these, like, no monopropellant ones are very tiny. Not very... Don't have high hopes for putting these on the outside. Well, hang on. You know what, that might be enough. 15 monopropellant? And then, I don't know about this though now, because the thrusters are on different faces. You think that's a good idea? That shouldn't be a problem. Does this game involve programmable logic? It's... Straight up physics shit. I mean, I do very little fine tuning, but some of the parts do. Go to structure parts and give it a proper ramp. Now, can I mount the ramp on the hinges? Oh no, after all that work? Well, it's stuck. Unless there's a way to attach it to the panel, which it looks like there is. Oh shit. So it looks like I could actually put a real panel on it. But then that would be extra weird because it would be like, that'd be fucking clipping central. I don't think this is viable. I like this sort of ad hoc ramp we have. And this guy, yeah, it was worth a look. Now there's some clipping here because of these tanks. How did I fuck this up? Did I put the... I think I put these on it, not a snap angle. They should keep all their rules though, right? I think I want them like this. Deploy angle 27. Okay, so remember that. Please deploy, please. So I can rotate. Then a little offset. Little bit more. Little bit more. That's as far as I can go. That's fine. That should be good. And then let's put the fuel tanks on. Snap. Not mirror. Okay, thank you. And then I noticed they were clipping into the service bay a little bit. Let's bring them out. Okay, so this is 1078, so if I land perfectly, this would work. But let's put that fuel back up on the upper stage. You know what, let's just do this. Let's just give it another donut on the docking clamp. $13.05, that doesn't add much. Even that doesn't add, you know what, that's making it way too big for what it's giving us. Let's go back to those radial donuts. Yeah, because this is why. The baguettes give as much as the donut. Okay. Give me some snap. That, you know what, actually, I thought we decided that that was way too much. This is more reasonable. Hang on though. Could I? Do you think that I could? Don't do that. Think I could clip these to be half circles? No, not quite. They look weird when I do that. Can't get the rotation quite right. I do like that more, but no. I could use empty orange fuel tanks as aesthetic inflatable habitation. You raise a good point. I could just put a full 8 and then drain them for extra. Well, you wouldn't gain that much dry mass, would you? Dry mass is 0.12. So here's what we'll do, is we'll do this, and then we'll remove the one from symmetry that's blocking the cockpit. Remove from symmetry, goodbye. And we've also got one blocking this door, remove some symmetry. Goodbye. Okay, now we've got 15, 52. I think that's enough. I want a lot of wiggle room because I'm a little concerned about this guy. He's got some RCS. This thing costs $22,000 to land on the surface of the moon. That's not terrible. This might actually be cheaper than our Minmus lander. Okay, and then yeah, the only problem is the clipping on these, which is I'm willing to accept that because it looks really cool. Okay, close this. This is our subassembly. The selected part is not attachable. Oh, fucking I've had this happen before. It's because you can't attach a command module, can you? So it would be this part is the moon lander. Right? Am I dumb? Moon lander. Try changing the root port to the docking port. I like your plan better. You can make non-command pods the root? Wow. That's a hot tip. Okay, we've got our moon lander. Let's go back to Robin's station. Tanker thing. We've had some names over the days, haven't we? Robin Station. Keep that fairing probably with the Moonlander. Oh yeah, perfect. Ish, almost perfect. I don't foresee any problems with this thing. There is actually a slight problem with the battery and power generation on the lander. It can drain the battery of the rover, but I think I want to actually give it a shrouded solar panel. Stop that. I want a shrouded 1x6 right here. And I also want to give it an antenna in case it needs to communicate with the station. Don't bump your head. Put it right here. So what? It's got power. It needs its own battery, I'd say. So here's a really cool clip I saw someone do. I thought this was really neat. Stop that. Okay. There. And it looks like the light's there for the solar panel. The root part had parts on both ends? Okay, okay. So how much power is this? This only adds 100, and then the... How much is inside a lander can? Lander can also holds 50, so... I want another battery, I think. Let's just put it... Let's just do the exact same thing, because it looked neat. There. Then your solar panel comes out. Getting super dress uppy here. All right. This ship's looking good. All right. It generates power. It stores power. It's got the rover. It can land. It doesn't have a reaction wheel, but it looks pretty tiny. I don't think this thing will need a reaction wheel. Actually, I think landing cans are notorious for their shitty torque, aren't they? Yeah, torque 3. Ugh. Yeah, I think I should stuff a reaction wheel in here somewhere. I could put it here. Oh, that's fine. Then I will completely clip this fuel because we've just fucking we've let the madness of dress up descend upon us in its entirety. It's a little cheesy. Basically, an entire fuel tank is hidden from view, but it's just a donut. A donut doesn't draw that much power, give us that much fuel. This thing looks beautiful. It's just the single docking port for structural integrity, so we shouldn't have to worry about that. Let's strut this up, though. hopefully just mounting it to the fairing plate will be enough. And I'm a little concerned about this here. So this gives 3085 at sea level. This particular ship's just going to the moon. We're just doing some contracts until we finally decide to work up the courage to go to Duna. But yeah, I'll probably go for a double or a triple nerve for the Duna burn. Alright, so at sea level this is 3000. I think we want a little more power or we're going to waste too much circularizing. I think I've shipped taller ships. Haven't I shipped taller ships? Uh-oh. It's not that. I think I've shipped something taller. It does work out though, because the extra space we saved when we redesigned the station tonight is we basically immediately lost it in building the lander, but it also allowed us to build the moon lander. Yeah, I almost feel like I need an extra fuel tank on this thing, but that might just fuck everything up. Make it even taller, and we won't get much more thrust out of the deal. What are we doing here? Oh no. Our thrust to weight's too low. Please tell me I gave you a limiter. I didn't. Uh-oh. The station's too heavy. Is this a mainsail? Maybe a mainsail's too weak. I think actually a mainsail is one of the most powerful engines you can use on the ground, isn't it? $1,300? I think anything more powerful is gonna fucking break the bank. It's a $13,000 engine. Well, I guess look for an engine that costs more than $13,000, right? The bore, 1866. It is a little bit stronger. What's your profile? Would you get out of the goddamn way? I think we're back in our thrust to weight problem, aren't we? 0.93. Oh wow, it's so much. This thing's gonna fucking cost an arm and a leg. Okay, let's do vacuum. There's no decoupler here. There's my 25, 37. Could use the same thing but with boosters. Yeah. The last time I tried to use SRBs, I didn't get the thrust I needed, but I guess we just need to stay above 1 to get us high enough for the altitude change, right? Where are the big boys? There they are. Is there anyone bigger? No. Shit out of here. Because it's cluttering the stage menu here. Decoupler's on the wrong side. No, it's not. Because it shoots up. I've always been putting... Have I been putting my decouplers the wrong way this whole time? Fairing is in the way of the engine. Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, because we, it was on the stage we destroyed earlier. Okay, you are in my... If I could please remember your fairing configuration. Hey, Christ. There's enough clearing that it works. Yep. Might actually redo the fairing to save some weight since we can taper it at the top there. Fairing is going to get kind of firm. Well, I've never had a fairing explode on me, so we can show that. So you think I can strap some boosters on it, which is just, it's unfortunately going to give us more cost. Where's that little tapering fellow we used? Was it this kid? Yes, it was. So there we go, 3357, but your thrust await's dog shit. So we got to give it some boosters until the atmosphere thins out. And that is really going to jump the cost up on me, unfortunately. Some $6,000 boosters probably to play it safe. $1.75, so I can probably turn you down. Jesus Christ, this thing burns forever. I think that's too many boosters. Turn down the SRBs instead so they last longer. Thrust limiter. $1.1 still enough to get us off the launch pad. So this will for sure get us circularized. And then this is not a lot. 1100, and then what, like 900 to get back? No, wouldn't need the full 900 to get back. 1100, so I guess, yeah, I guess this is enough fuel to go to the moon. Oh, never mind. We're not even bringing this thing back. This thing's just going to get decoupled and then destroyed remotely. That's right. So we just need the 1100. So we can probably kill some of these fuel tanks. I just remembered we're not bringing this nuke back. Ooh, I think that's a little too close. 863.10. I don't like that. Ah, fuck, I have a duplicate of the ship there, don't I? Yeah. Where the fuck did it go? Oh, fuck. How far back did I go? Ah, shit. Okay, thank God. So I want this gone. Keep this. 1477, that's enough to get to the moon. That also frees up a little weight here on this lower stage, and I do want some decouplers. Some fucking very powerful ones though, right? Ejection force 450. Yeah, we want the 450s. And then where would you want to place the booster there? Are we up near here? Okay, okay. Check my center of mass. My center of mass is near the bottom, which is maybe bad for how tall it is. I don't think I could make the fairing much sleeker. It would mostly just taper near the top and we'd save some weight. Because the side batteries make the station smaller, but it's a little wider. But delete. Let's build it. See if that's enough to encompass the batteries, and it is. I fucking hate when it looks like a perfectly fine cross section here, but it won't let me place it. I'm assuming the deploying arm on the air brakes can handle the ascent. Clipping through the fairing like that. So that's the fairing. These boosters need some nose cones. My staging's all fucked up. I'm assuming that's why my Delta V's in the shitter. Okay, I want the bigger ones. Bigger ones. These things hold fuel? I guess we can get a little extra fuel, but no, this won't work because that's feeding into a booster, right? Oh, never mind. Sorry, the paint drop means it can be colored. That's not a drop of oil. There. That's more rocketish. Fortunately, you can't color the boosters. Okay. Let's get our staging proper. Definitely want to do some legs on this kid and some winglets. 120. You know what? The rocket didn't really change in cost, which is what I like. Then just some winglets. Do you ever reach the... Ooh, what the fuck? There we go. And then... I don't think these need flyable winglets, just winglets in general, right? That look... It's kind of nice. It's weird, this doesn't seem centered. Might want to strut the top of the SRB to the rocket. Where would I, though? Oh, I guess you could just do side and side, right? And then we'll do another two just to be safe on the bottom here. Still a little higher than they need to be. Always remember to add struts. I did have one ship that could have used struts, I'll admit it. So yeah, so you can just strut it to anything, right? Like the strut location is just for aesthetics. I clipped it. I did clip that wacky ship. If you want to look at the Twitch clips. So yeah, just two, and then just kind of strut it anywhere, right? Give it a strut near the bottom for looks. What the hell's going on here? Oh, wrong symmetry. This one was the right symmetry. But the one at the bottom was the wrong symmetry. The fuck? Oh, I think it's because the symmetry originated on the booster and not the, Yeah, it originated on the booster. Maybe we don't need to clamp onto that. Seriously? I think struts are literally free, aren't they? They're $42. You think I made it a fucking money? There. So this ship should be structurally sound. I'm going to grab myself a drink and then we're going to launch this thing. That's not true. We'll do one final check to make sure, I don't fucking get there and the ship's unmanned. So let's save this. Robbins Mark 1. I'll be back in a moment. Holy shit, look at the time. I started a little late tonight, but it is getting late. I don't know if we'll have time to land this thing. I don't want to rush this part. So I really just want to get this thing in orbit of the moon, and then we'll take it from there. Could tighten up the fairing much sooner if I offset these in, but that might be cheating. Alright, let's double check our staging. Let's see how we're doing now. $134,000. Ship didn't get that much more expensive. Okay, I want all these stages revealed, please. So these go first. Are they limited? They're limited. And then this kid goes in there with them. And then there's a decoupler here that I don't want. Decouplers go first, and then that's when we lose our boosters. Which, now why would decouplers, shit, sea level. Well, now our Delta V's all fucking wacky tobacky again. Why are we only getting 1,500 with this? Something's not connected right. What is wrong with that first stage? So we fire, and then we ditch the boosters, and then we ditch the fairing, and then we activate the nuke. And then the nuke does have to get us into orbit. But then once we're in orbit, the lander is its own stage, which... Now hang on, I need to... Oh fuck, I need to disable crossfeed on like all of these, don't I? Or can you not disable crossfeed? Isn't crossfeed how you stop it from stealing the fuel on the ascent? I want to make sure that fucking nobody down here is stealing the fuel from the lander. I disabled it at the docking port. There's the command. Disable crossfeed. So no one's allowed to steal fuel from the lander. Which means the rover's safe and everything. Okay. Okay. Shouldn't need, I mean, I think I could put a giant reaction wheel down here, but I think the mainsail has so much gimbal we don't need it. Will it fit? It is the right size. I don't think we need it. So I just gotta figure what the fuck's wrong with this first stage. So I mean, there's a lot of torque hidden. Like there's a lot of torque hidden in all the command pods here. And then this is also some. But yeah, this is only 1,500. I feel like I should be getting a lot more than 1,500 Delta V from this first stage because these boosters are giving me 2,000. Or is this just all fucked up and it's like 2,200 plus 1,500? Because it's, oh, is it saying that like once the boosters are gone, the mainsail keeps burning for another 2,200? Is that what this means? So 15 and 22, that's enough to get us into orbit if I pilot it right. $41.38 to get to the moon. This is concerning because it... Oh, never mind. This is concerning. This is concerning because we're not calculating our Delta V once we're in the vacuum. Once we're in the vacuum, 1477. And all this has to do... We're not coming home, remember. All this has to do is tow the station into a lunar equatorial orbit. So, barring a major flub up on my part as the pilot, I think this thing is ready to go. As for people we're going to put in it, I'm going to put the new guy in it. Please don't do that. I need you guys. I need you guys. Don't do that. We're going to put Signy in it. He's level 1, which I think he has prograde, retrograde hold, which is all I care about because I'm able to do normal and radial maneuvers on my own. So he will be flying this thing, and if we ever need him back, someone will go visit him and grab him. I think this is everything has been accounted for. Save it. Let's go to the mission control center, the contract building. There we go. Do I have anything about the moon that I give a shit about? Science data from the surface of the moon. We are sending that rover down. And he just has to transmit it. So yes, we'll grab this. And unfortunately, because the rover's so small, we won't be able to do any rover arm contracts. Which is a bit of a shame because you don't get that much money. Yeah, so 67% of the total available science. I think we need to do a very strong rover arm. So let's just grab this kid because we are landing on the moon. Gather surface deployed mystery goo observation science from the surface of the moon. This is worth $250,000, but I think we can only use a mystery goo once on a rover. So one way to look at it is if I put a mystery goo on the rover generates 300,000 Kerbals. Yeah, a scientist can reset it, but we're just sending down the unmanned rover. I can't take both. I can't take both because we have 6 out of 7 contracts. Gather surface deployed mystery goo observation science from the surface of the moon. That's a lot of fucking money if I just slap a mystery goo container on it and then just, you know, it's broken. Oh well. Science data. So what do I have active right now? Explore Kerbal. I actually don't get in trouble at all for this. Oh, this is a world's first, that's why. Yeah, 50% of the surface deployed goo. So if I land in a biome that I've already studied, or if the antenna's too weak, we might not be able to transmit it. So you're right. Let's play it safe and not grab that one, because I already got mad at the seismic contract that lied to me. But I think we can do this. Transmit any scientific data from the surface of the moon. Yes. I do want to go back and see what the fuck that thing looks like with a mystery goo on it, though. Open it up. If I were to give you a mystery goo, I think it would take up the whole rear bumper, wouldn't it? About the whole bumper. So I mean, we could do it. But the thing is that contract might expire while we're in flight to the moon. So that's no fun. And then we'll have to move all the science back to the front if we do that. That's like a rear bumper he has now. He's a big fella. That would imply this is upside down if the other one defaulted the other way. I wish they'd be a little more centered, so... Okay. Okay, so if I go into space and we very quickly dock and undock this is a world first, and then that'll free up the contract for the mystery goo. Because I don't think that mystery goo contract would expire in the hour. Well, not even an hour. It'll take like 20 minutes to get into orbit on this ship in Kerbal time. Okay. I think we're finally for real, actually, this time. Ready to go. Save. Hang on. Make sure you're in there. Signy. All right, launch. And then with this much thrust, we're probably going to do something super greedy. We're going to start to turn right at 50 meters per second and then just follow prograde. By the way, no pressure, guy I rescued from a ship a week ago. I have to fly the whole space station alone? Yes. Godspeed. It's a big boy. Oh, whoops, the air brakes are out. That's not helping. Oh shit, are the air brakes... Would the air brakes be pushed down by the force? Nope, they started deployed. Okay, that's fine. Deploy. The fuck? Uh-oh. The hell's going on? What's the problem here, fellas? Pop the fairing. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because they're stuck in the fairing, aren't they? Gonna widen out the fairing if that's true. I think this ship works, guys. Aw, jeez. What's this? Okay, so they're stowed wacky. Which is fine because we can just we can reset the deploy angle once we're on the moon, like once we're in orbit and about to land. Stowed is why they didn't move. Okay. And then I just hope that. Oh, did you remember? No. We just have to hope that if they're in the fairing, they're not generating any drag, because that's the only concern. So it's like they're a little stuck, but I think this is fine. Jesus, the fucking time tonight. Just got to get this thing around the moon. Nope, the fairing's in the way. I hope they don't have to fucking open up and launch. Oh, that's bad. There's no way to make it launch deployed? Shit. Whole thing's falling apart here. I don't think the fairing has anything to do with it then. Damn it. We haven't even we haven't even done anything tonight. We just built a ship for 3 hours. I guess we did do that Minmus landing. The Minmus landing was about 40 minutes. So a decent chunk of the stream tonight was that Minmus landing. But how the fuck? Thicken the fairing? It's got to be really thick, though, because it has to accommodate it when they're fully deployed, right? They're stowed inside the fairing. I mean, will that work? I feel the fairing, you don't want to make it too girthy, but what do I know? It's just a lot of the fairing will serve no purpose if we make it that big. Well, that doesn't help. I need to see what these look like when they're retracted. Oh my god. Well, there you go. It's only 9 tons of fairing. Ooh, that's hollow. Because I have a feeling if I thickened it right at the top, that'd add too much drag. Thrust weight's going to be all fucky from the weight, you're right. 1.6, so that'll still get us off the launch pad. This is 1.6 in sea level 0. It's going to be a very slow ascent. 2 minutes of burn. I've gotten into orbit with 2 minutes before. I think this will work. .2. Maybe I can shave some fairing weight off. Let's actually try it the other way. Let's try to just make it fat right at the last second. Is this a snapping thing? Is this the problem here? No. Would you... What is... Is it oddly finicky? Like, this is pretty much back where we started here. Oh, fuck. There. This is about the same weight, so I didn't really help out there. Because I didn't account for what happened when they're like this. You know what? That's the fairing. This thing needs... Oh, I guess we can just up the limiter, can't we? Get it up to 80. .14. This is what we'll go with here. Because it's got well, it doesn't have so much, but it does have a little extra. Use clamshell. Clamshell deploy on. What does that do? Never used a clamshell before. Less. Oh, it just opens with less pieces, I'm guessing. Okay. Ignore that. That was a test. All right, full power. Start to get that tip. I'm tipping the wrong way. Follow that prograde. No, our inclination might be a little off, but I guess we are just going for the moon. I'll try to kind of correct it myself. It's almost time to ditch the boosters. We are going over 350 here, a little low in the atmosphere, but I want to get this thing into space. It's okay if we waste a little fuel. We're still gaining speed. That means the thrust to weight's fine, right? Or are you worried about not being enough? Alright, we're at 93 degrees at 25 kilometers. That's pretty good. Get that APWAPS up to like 100, I'll say. Our time to APWAPS is still going up. That's a great sign. Although our fuel's going down and we're not quite up to 70 kilometers APWAPS yet. But I guess that's because we burned like half the fuel just on the booster stage. Okay, 62, 63, 64. How wide is this going to turn out? I've definitely had wider ascents. Let's push it up to 80, even though it's wasting more fuel than I probably should. Okay. So a quick save here. We just have to get this, well, we pretty much want to circularize it with this entire stage. I don't think that I want to waste much of the nuke fuel. I think I did give the nuke a pretty comfortable margin, but I don't want to risk it. There goes Nataji's craft. I really should deorbit that thing. And we'll burn APWAPS at 15. And then we have that quick save if I miscalculated here. I didn't burn in time. Oh, it's gonna get all eccentric and shit now. Yeah, let's go back. Let's do that a little better. I'll open the fairing once we get to 70K. Once we're actually in space. Yeah, fuck. Over half of the ship is fairing. Right, we're 70. The clamshell. That just looks cooler, too. And, I mean, we could We could deploy the solar panels, but I mean, this thing has 9,800 charge right now. Almost no wobble. It's just the one docking port we have to worry about. But I think we strutted properly and we tapered properly. Probably start to do some of our moon burn. It should calculate that both engines properly for us, so. Here we go. We did it. We got our giant space station into orbit. And 400 left to get to the moon. There's the moon. Set as target. What's my node? 3.3. We'll fix that with this engine. Like I said, I think this thing has enough torque. Ascending, I want to point it. Oh, fuck. I don't know what the nodes look like. Which way am I going? I'm going this way because you go to the more faded part of your circle. Okay, where's my fucking node? This thing's a little harder to control than I expected. I always make that mistake. I'm in space, what's the problem? I think that's the one we burn at, or actually that might be the one we burn at for descending. Even just a little bit of thrust from this mainsail would let us use the gimbal, but actually I suppose you could set the thrust limiter to like 1% and use it as like a fucking super RCS. I think that's the wrong way. Yep. Well, I'm facing the right way. We're just going to go all the way to descending and burn there instead. .0, love it. And then we just gotta be ahead of the moon. Well, I guess it doesn't matter where we are. Actually, that's not true. We have to make a note of where we are, so we're facing the right way whenever we go to visit. So we'd want to get caught in front of it, because that's the smart people way to intercept the moon, right? So I want to make sure that I'm 45 degrees ahead of it. Should be something around here. It's really easy to get to the moon, though, isn't it? Isn't it a cheaper burn than Minmus? So that's in front of it, right? That's the right side? Because it looks like I get grabbed and he swings me in front of him. Or no, that would be behind him, wouldn't it? So I want to be... Oh, you were saying that before, weren't you? I can, if I have an intercept, I can just radial. 859. What am I shooting for? I'm shooting for 860, so this is the proper amount of delta V we want to spend to catch the moon. I have a lot of chances to catch this guy, but that looks like a really trashy intercept. I'm guessing I'll just fly away. So the Mun Periaps is there. That's weird. Why the fuck would I have a 0.3 ascending node? So I think I want this, right? And then I would radial left. I can't tell which side that's putting me on. This? That's still behind it though, isn't it? Now radial to the left. I'm on the wrong side again. So it looks like it's bringing me in front of it, but it looks like I hit it. Oh. No, wait. Once you get there, I can move the periapsis again. So, like, can I just do the encounter and then kill my speed? Or... Okay. 863, so that's what the map says I should do. We'll go with this maneuver. It's a 4-minute burn on the nerve, my god. Well, all the more reason to stop for the night as soon as I fucking catch the moon. That's a 4-minute burn, and that's accounting for the fact that we get a couple seconds on this mainsail. Okay, well, in 12 minutes, I gotta burn like my fucking life depends on it. Quick save again. We can do this, I suppose, now that we're actually in space. Huh. Oh, because I'm time warping. I was like, why can't I deploy these for time warping? Oh, boy. So, even after all that fanfare, it won't be until tomorrow that we can deploy this rover. We'll do the save here. I want to burn it like 240. Such a, yeah, this is when I wish I had maneuver lock, because then we could just physics warp, save ourselves a bunch of time, but we have to do a 4-minute burn on normal speed, basically. 217? Okay. How we doing here? Can you see out? Yeah, you have a window. There you go. Hopefully this guy knows how to work the lab, because he can radio in for his own level up. I think. We could also grab him. Like, Jebediah could pick him up for a joyride around the sun, and that might level him up enough for maneuver node locks and stuff. I'm really hoping that if we fly Jebediah around the moon, he'll level up and he'll be able to lock onto the moon. Or, sorry, the maneuvers. Because maneuver locks will be wonderful for getting to Duna. Alright, now we should have some way better control of this ship. Oh shit! 4-minute burn, I might need a radiator. Oh god, I hope not. Oh god, I hope not. Let's go lights. Oh, the nerve doesn't overheat anymore. That's wonderful, because it would. I forgot to put some decorative lights on this, but originally I intended to not use this station, and that might stay the case. I am a little invested in Jimbo the Cockroach, though. So I don't want to fuck up my quick save, but once we do finish our maneuver and have our intercept, I'll do a hard save. And we can try to correct our orbits for a better intercept. Because that'll be nice to learn those things, especially for when we're going to Duna. When we can't really afford to make mistakes. And yeah, it says this guy only has 200, but I think that's because it's accounting for the weight of the entire station. So once he undocks, his Delta V should shoot up to 1500 or whatever. I don't see the hinges. Did they get snapped off or something? Let's not open that in flight, although I think it is safe. Tucked under? I don't think they are tucked under, though, is the thing. I think they were a little gaudy. Hey Wags, yeah, fuck. I do just want to get to Duna, but then cool stuff like this keeps popping up. I keep telling myself I want to get to Duna this week, but it's already Tuesday. And it's going to take most of tomorrow to finish this mission to the moon, and then we have to get... I kind of want to get a station identical to this in the solar orbit for our other contract, but we might just do a solar flyby and then just really start rocketing for Duna, no pun intended. Because, yeah, I would like to be done the game this week. It's been 2 weeks with Kerbal Space Program. I've had a lot of fun with it, but it's time to be hitting the dusty old trail. So here's an interesting observation I just had is if I didn't decouple this and we flew out something to refuel it, is we could fly this to the sun and complete both contracts with the same station, now that I think about it. Because we would just fly out liquid fuel on the Backstreet's back tanker, wouldn't we? Let's save our game. Robin's Intercept. So we're going to try to fine tune it. So you think once I get about halfway there, we can make some changes? The moon is fun though, because you get to the moon in like one day. Or would I not be retrograde? Would I just be radial? I'm guessing radial based on how low that's going down. Where the fuck are my radials? I kind of want to fix my node, but I'm nowhere near it. I'm almost a whole degree off, but that doesn't really matter, does it? There's A radial. I see A radial to the north. She's a little wobbly. I'm having a bit of trouble bringing her radial. What the fuck's going on here? Oh, sorry. Retrograde assist. Let's do radial. Radial seems like an interesting maneuver. I never do them. Only started doing them just recently with my Minmus rendezvous. I think that's the wrong one. Should have put a probe core on this thing. I'm not sure how he's going to be able to dock with this. It's actually moving over very slowly, which concerns me. I guess we don't need much. We only need 300 to circularize, but it looks like I'm burning a lot off doing this. Yeah, I just realized I'm not sure how we're gonna get back up to the station because there's nothing on the station to control it. So if he comes up on the wrong side of it, the station can't spin around to meet him. We're going to have to waste a lot of RCS lining up with the docking port. Just increase speed to my target, right? Where'd my periaps go? I'm on the wrong side again though, aren't I? Or am I spinning the right way here? We'll spin clockwise, so this is fine. I can follow this in. Okay, yeah, I see it. Oh, this isn't this the guy I have to save? Periapsis rocket supplies. No, Kenster's in orbit of Minmus. They want the satellite here. No, wait, what the fuck is this? Satellite in equatorial orbit of the Min. This is the one that is the survey scanner, so that'll be a little big and annoying to send out. But yeah, I think we should try to rescue that guy who's in orbit of Minmus. Where the fuck is he? Or is he in some stupid eccentric one? Is this you? No. I think that might be him. Or is this you? Kenster's Heap. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the lander can rescue you. Okay, so we want to be here. Let's go to here. Hasn't even been a full day. It was a fast intercept, which I like. And then we just have to hope that that is enough time to kill my orbit. Because I think 30 is good for the moon. 35 by 35. That sounds like a good moon or orbit. Because too big and the lander won't have enough fuel to catch up to you. I am going the opposite of the satellite orbit. That just means when I bring a ship to drop off the satellite, I can just drop off the satellite and be on my way. Pull straight up towards the blue. I think we're fine. I think 35's high enough, right? You don't get pulled into like under 10. And I think 35's more than far enough away from all the mountains and shit. It's kind of dumb they wanted me to put a surface scanner on an equatorial orbit. You want a polar orbit for the survey scanner. Yeah, we have fuel to spare. Good. Appreciate the tip. We'll lower to 30. Dokie. Oops. So 3 by 38. Let's bring that down. $30,037, $30,043. That is pretty fucking circular, all things considered. All right, let's get this station online. Deploy solar panels. I mean, the engine doesn't do anything, so I think I'm going to ditch it just so we have a little more torque. Build a new orbital station around the moon. Contract complete. F5 that. Decouple this. And then Signy just has to get down to the surface of the moon. But there's nobody in the station to help him dock with it, I realized. It is very dark. I think we're orbiting the dark side of the moon right now. Well, there's Kerbin, though. Max, did you actually find some sunlight? Are we generating? We are not. Deploy the airlock if a ship gets close. I would like to try docking with that. Which I guess is kind of mandatory since the lander is taking the real docking port. And then now that we're in space, we can set these to landing configuration, which is 27. And we can see what's wrong with these fucking... the hinges for the rover. It looks like the hinges survived. Oh shit, it looks like only one survived. Oh no, I'm blind. Alright, I need some fucking sunlight here. Give me that sun. Perfect. Some nice contrast there. Would you stop spinning away from me so I can look at it? Yep, the hinges are fine. That was weird. They seemed almost... Either I didn't notice them or they were just actually sucked inside completely till I opened it for the first time. Don't forget the goo contract. The goo contract was on the surface of the moon, I believe. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, because we completed the orbital station. It's been a day because we forgot to do the docking in orbit of Kerbin. Darn. But that completes the station contract. Let's see if the goo contract is up. Because, yeah, that's a lot of money if we get the goo contract here. Ooh, 1.8, so that's enough to upgrade the R&D. So we just need to make a nice chunk of change from some missions here. There it is. Good call. 50% though. If we fail, we lose 90,000. So if we can't do this, I'm gonna throw it away immediately, and we're just gonna eat that $90,000. Actually, so look at this. Actually, we get an advance of 81, and the failure is 94. So we barely lose any money actually. A 10-year duration, though, yeah, I mean, I could come back in the future in like a fucking anime robot, land on the moon flawlessly and run the scan. Buy a couple Twinkies with whatever hyperinflation makes 300,000 rubles worth by then. But yes, this will be big money. And then I think we really need to do this world first because I feel that we're getting blocked out of other world firsts by this one. Dock in or around Kerbin. I don't want to send that up right now. It's like that we're just like, oh, I'll just do that really quick before I go to bed, and then there's a problem, and then we keep redesigning the ship. No. So tomorrow, can do that on the ground. Oh, right, because it's in or around Kerbin. All right, now we are going to do it. Okay, very quickly. Can't dock with anything but itself, and it can't start deployed. Come on, you can do it. Oh, fuck off already. I know you'll fit. Stupid Stay Putnik. Let's just do it with a command pod then. Yeah, I could just do that. Hope the magnetic force is strong enough. Alright, let's see if that works. So I'm curious if just redocking the original ship counts, or I might have to make two little cockroach rovers. Well, that didn't work. Okay. Oh, that's... God damn it. Okay, and then... Junior. Fuck off. Just one. This guy also gets some wheels. Okay. Decouple. Attach two different vessels together near Kerbal with a docking port or claw. Maybe I need two different ones. Actually, no, it looks like we're still... I can't decouple. Are we still trying to snap together? Oh, wait, brakes? That's weird. Just deploy one at a time. Yeah, okay, revert. So yeah, we'll just deploy this exact same thing and then drive away and launch another one. Exactly, exactly. And because we're already on Kerbal launch pad, we'll be fucking getting almost all of it back. I mean, it's $2,000. We'll break even. All right. He's there, which is what we want. Does it remember the ship that I just made, though? I guess it doesn't matter. I can just build an identical one pretty quick. It's a fucking core and a docking port. Perfect. It did remember. Untitled spacecraft is already on the launch pad. Abort the launch. We gotta move them off. I thought he was far enough away. Hopefully we don't have to drive him really far away. We'll just get him completely off the pad, down onto the road. Hope the battery holds. Okay. That should be good. Space Center. But yeah, tomorrow we're going to try to get that lander on the moon. You know, I'm kind of tempted to let time pass from our moon contracts. You know, like grab a surface sample from the moon, plant a flag on the moon would be nice. Well, shit, I forgot what I was doing. Flag's the front, remember. Time am I going to stream tomorrow? 8 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully we can do a nice long one, get a lot done. I mean, because tonight was definitely one of those streams where we didn't get a lot done, but we did get a lot done. I mean, we just launched the one ship, but we learned a lot about building ships. It's a beautiful ship. Most of it was in the rover. I really like how the rover turned out. Station was good. We actually got the station up there pretty much on the first try. So yeah, bring that lander down, drop that rover off. Let's get our docking port world first. This one's a little silly because we've docked all the time around Minmus, but the contract was to specifically do it on Kerbal. Cover vessel. Yeah, it was a smooth launch. Normally I have disastrous launches when I christen a new ship type. But that thing got into space pretty reliably. Recovered, I think that's almost all the money. 98% value, yes. All right, what do you got for me now? Explore Eve. Absolutely not. I fly by Eve for 200,000. That I like that. But then we have to get something on the surface of Eve. A tundra orbit of Kerbal. Man, 300,000 Kerbals for a tundra orbit. That's just, isn't that polar or is that a weird like offset polar? Oh, not surface. Ooh. We could do an Eve flyby before we go to Duna. Just because apparently it's like I definitely don't want to land on Eve. I don't want to deal with any of that shit. Just want to get to Duna, but I think mechanically Eve might be easier to get to because you're inside, because it's an inner planet. The landing gear test is free money? Where is this? Oh, test this at the... I mean, it gives us some prestige, doesn't it? Large landing gear? Sure. Yeah, the contract said data from Eve. So if it means in space above Eve, then we can, we can just do a flyby and hopefully get pulled back into Kerbal. Test the large landing gear. It's our little tester bot. Hope this doesn't crush him.
Get off! Get off me!
Mission accomplished. This will be nice though. Because we've been making enough money that we're at 1.9. We'll be able to upgrade the R&D center, which lets us grab the really cool shit at the end. This I don't care about, but I mean, this would have been cool for stations because like you just put some docking ports on those and then you rearrange your station once you're in space. Clampatron Senior, that's nice. Actually, we were that close to a Clampatron Senior on Robin's station. Oh well. Massive fuel tanks. I guess this is if you want to build like Saturn V style rockets. No fucking around engines. These might be nice. But really, we've got the stuff down here. We've got the big boy wheel, I guess, if we wanted to send something to Duna. This is the mining and the better mining stuff. This is Ion for, ooh, you know what? We could hold out. We could hold out on our Duna goal a little bit longer, because if we get ions, then we can send out some really fun satellites. Very light, very efficient. That'd be nice. Get some solar satellites, maybe send a probe to Eve. Actually, we might be able to just send a probe to Eve for the Eve achievement. And then what do we have down here? We have the no fucking around probe cores, right? These are the ones with maneuver lock. Maneuver hold. Beautiful. Target tracking. That means it'll keep an eye on me when I try to dock with it. I like that. This is there's a drone core that lines up with the shuttle parts. That's a nice one. And this is the strongest direct satellite and the strongest relay satellite. And then over here, this is I think this is the ultimate drone core. It's got no torque. And then over here we've got the hilariously large battery, which again, this would have made Robin's station a little more tiny. I don't use fuel cells. I think my problem with fuel cells is they drain, right? Oh no, wait, you burn fuel to charge it. I just don't like fuel cells. I've never gone well, it's because I never leave Kerbin. It's like once you get to the really far outer planets, the solar panels lose their efficiency, but I can never escape Kerbin's influence. So I love solar panels. And then here, speaking of power, just nuclear reactors, so you don't even need to bother. Just this generates electricity forever. $23,000 each, though. You pay for it. And this is if we want to set up a science outpost on another planet. It's a little nuclear power plant, but for the science outposts. But there are some cool parts. Not really necessary, just fun quality of life shit. And yeah, I think once we do a batch of stuff from the moon, and yeah, I would really like to get those ion probes and send an ion probe to Eve, because that's 300,000 Kerbals. But I hope you enjoyed watching me make a rover for 2 hours, because that's all we have time for tonight, unfortunately. So I will see you tomorrow. Until then, thanks for watching.